Hello, hello. Here we come again. Can you imagine? I could not wake up today. This week was so strange, so strange. I've been noticing that energies are jumping up and down with the hurricane that came to us. And so even though I was absolutely safe and okay with that, lots of people were not okay, are not okay. The houses are gone, lives are gone, trees on the beach are upside down. And yet I see the nature and its power, and I understand that power is available to all of us. We're all like that. We destroy, we kill, we give birth, we destroy ourselves, we do all kinds of interesting things, and most likely, just like the nature, it is not against anybody. It's just the nature. We all have the nature within us, all the elements. The element of fire gets you on fire and you go, an element of water cools you down, and when they meet in your body it boils up and spills out, and that's not a pretty picture. At the same time, I love the sauna that I recently bought. It's a fabric sauna from Amazon. I'm not getting commission from promoting. I'm just saying that when I'm in my sauna, the water inside and outside is boiling, and it feels extremely safe and contained, but you don't want to be in the energy like that in the nature. So the more I think about those broadcasts and podcasts, the more I understand that it is a great way to walk and talk out your energies, your elements, because air gets trapped in the lungs, for example, and we forget to breathe. And when you walk, you do have to breathe. If you don't breathe, you cannot walk, and you slow down. And when you slow down, your talking is also slowing down, and you notice it. So what I understand, that through communication, we not only see others, but we also start seeing ourselves. Or better said, we see ourselves first, and we start noticing things. We see ourselves in a video and all kinds of thoughts. Oh, I should have had another head, I should be different, and I should have done this, that, or the other thing. And all those shoulds come up. And today's conversation is about how do you communicate without shoulds for yourself or somebody else. Because should is the energy that actually stops the flow of the bigger, more expanded energy that is available to us at all times. The energy of our elements, which are also the elements of nature. We all have the fire and water and air. We are ether, the fifth element, that are connecting the earth with all the other moving elements. And the earth is the materia, the mother. So those of us who are women are exact expression of that. We become fertile, we give birth to children, we give birth to projects, and we inspire with our fertility and calm. We inspire other people to also be fertile, whether they're men or women or children, it doesn't really matter, because that energy is present in everybody, in different amounts, of course, depending on how much of each element is in our body, which is also calculatable. You can look into it. But we all have those elements. And if you feel that some of the elements is missing, it's just maybe not as expressed, or you forget to express it sometimes, and that is totally possible to cultivate that energy, which I can give you this idea that every day you try to live different energies, maybe one a day or all of them, but at different times, which will help you understand how you express yourself, because elements of nature are within us. And sometimes we become a hurricane without noticing that, or we become not the mountain that's standing still on the earth, but actually the volcano that lives within the mountain. The volcano is fire, not the earth. Volcano inside could be very turmoiled and liquidy and fiery, but on outside it could look very calm, and people understand that it's earth. But at some point, when everything spills out, people are surprised, because I did not expect that from you. That is so strange. Why are you like that? And the air is a light element, and birds use, and our airplanes use the air to come up, to fly. But the truth of the matter is, we are the element of air sometimes that is like that, fluffy, fast, in talking, in moving, but sometimes it's compressed air. And you know, if you go swimming, diving with compressed air, and you have too much of it, or you have it in a wrong amount or at the wrong depth, that air mixed with compressed air, mixed with other elements, can absolutely kill you. At the same time, it could be expressed as the wind. And the wind, normal system has 4 elements, but Chinese system has 8. I Ching Chinese system has 8 elements, so wind is also air. At the same time, it's the moving air, and as it moves, it doesn't really calculate the speed. It moves with the nature, and the pressure of the different elements in nature creates that flow of air that sometimes becomes a hurricane, and it connects with the water. And here you go, the rainfall in a place where people are flooded and houses are destroyed. And then, of course, the water could be a beautiful, calm lake, and the sun could reflect itself in it with the beautiful trees in it. But at the same time, it could absolutely become a waterfall, a fast-moving river, in which people could also drown, because when you go with the current, when you move through the current, with the power of the current, the flow picks you up and moves you. If you start fighting and going against the flow, good luck with that. But there is an exit point, which most of us miss. I've done a lot of whitewater rafting, and the first thing they say, if you fall out of the boat, do not fight the current, do not be scared of the current taking you forward, don't fight it going back, go across, get to the shore, get to the safe place. So when we understand that the safe place is in our decision, in our core, and who we are, in this element that knows all the elements, the ether from which everything is happening, then you will always find your way to safety, and you always will make decisions that bring you to this space of unspoken, calm equilibrium and connection with what is. This week was very hard and strange because I have not traveled alone for a long time, just because we have a great relationship. We travel everywhere together and we dance tango, so most of our trips are around the world to dance. Of course, we go together with my husband, and he's a strong and very organized person, and I'm not as strong, and I'm definitely not organized as well. And so I'm going to another country to study psychology, numerical psychology, which helps you understand human psychology without lies. People lie, not necessarily because they want to lie, because they have a certain subjective understanding of who they are, and subjective understanding of who other people in their family are, or their work, and how our life is. It's all subjective. Even understanding of what God or universal powers are also subjective. Everyone makes a piece of it that is palpable, and clear for yourself. But at the same time, we live in objective reality, in which things are regardless of how you think about it, and elements are regardless of how destructive or constructive they are. And the sun comes up every day for some people and comes down every day for other people. At the same time, sun is always there. We are moving around the sun, being citizens of Earth, and as we are moving, we see certain parts of the sky, and certain planets are connecting to us. There is an app that when you put it to the sky, you can see who are communicating with you right now. And that is fascinating. My husband does it a lot because he's very cosmic. He would never say that. He believes that he's very real. Yes, it is. But his connection to cosmos is constant, and it comes through his genius and his work and how he resolves conflicts, because he receives that influences from everywhere without necessarily acknowledging it. And you know, universe does not need you to acknowledge it. As long as it sees you and acknowledges you and reflects you, you are safe, because in the big scheme of things, you are the universal being, the cosmic traveler from one planet to another, from one energy form to another, from one incarnation to another, from one story to another, from one goal to another, from one point B to point C and to point D. And sometimes we feel like we're always in point A, but it's not true, because if you look at the Facebook pictures, very often Facebook gives you 5 years, 10 years, 25 years ago memories, and you see that you are a different person now. What we do about it is very superficial. We look at it and we look at the material element. Oh, I was like this, it was so beautiful, I didn't recognize at the time, but now I'm not like this beautiful. That's just subjective understanding. The objectivity of it is that we are elements, and as elements we constantly change depending on the energies we incorporate, the energy we fight with, the energy we bring in. And the more of that understanding comes in, the less struggle, the less hustle we have, because what's the point to hustle with the elements? They're there, they're subjective. You could be upset about it, or you could be happy about it, or you can ignore it. But hurricane comes, you cannot ignore it anymore. You are flooded, you cannot ignore it. And therefore, being in the present moment in subjective reality allows you to be in action, which is absolutely appropriate and absolutely useful in the moment. When you are thinking about what will happen and how it's going to happen, you create ideas that are not necessarily there, and your elements are not engaged with those ideas. So your head starts engaging. And the head, the knowledge, the understanding, is like number 4. It's the information that you get. Of course, you get information with your whole body, but a lot of people, including me, very often forget about the body and go into what should I do? What should I do? How should I do? And the body is not about doing at all. Body wants to be at rest. It's like a dog. It can sleep all day long and it will be fine. And the head is like a trainer, but you should get up and go. But you should, because it's healthy for you. When it comes from the should, the dog does not obey as good if you scream at it. The dog is a loyal creature, and when you love it enough to give him, to give it your intonation of love and quality offer, quality bone, it will always follow. So my quality bone for my dog, for my body, which is number 7, the Kundalini energy, the vessel of love, the energy of engagement, lives within the body if the head doesn't stop you, because the energy comes every day in and out from the earth, from the sky, from other elements. You're constantly engaged. Even the thunder and the lightning wakes you up and moves you, unless you're scared here that it can kill you, and then you get stuck, of course. So my bone is I want to be useful. My mission is to be useful. I need to be useful. If I'm not useful, what's the point? And what stops me sometimes from action is that standards, that moral, what's spiritual, what's not spiritual. Spirituality was always about communing with higher self, higher sources, higher resources, people that are oriented to spiritual. But spirituality is not about that, from what I understand now. Spirituality is about being in the nature. Look at that swamp. It's right around my neighborhood because the element of rain came down, and now all the nature here is communing with the element of water. So the spirituality is about seeing and reading the seeing and hearing and experiencing the spirit, the spark of God, the power of the universe of creation, the creative spark in absolutely everything, and being able to read the symbol. The symbol. Look at that mushroom. Wow. I haven't seen anything like that in our neighborhood. This is a new thing. It came here because of the rain. So the rain produced new life in here. And seeing the symbols of nature, and even symbols on the carton of milk or cereal or somewhere else, and asking that question, what that communication is about. By the way, today is my day 5, because the new month starts, and I repeat the day 5 and 6. Last 2 days of the month of September was 5 and 6 in my personal calendar. So can you believe that deja vu, the communication expansion, and love and connection, because day 6 is about being wise and connected to yourself and giving yourself all the love you can give, so your body, your dog, starts learning what it is to take. I love to give. I rarely take, but in my mind, I'm always calculating. You know, that's terrible. Oh, I put this much in it, I should have that much out. Not really, because this is linear thinking. What happens is you get exactly what you need, and you give exactly what you can. Socialistic thinking. Not really. You cannot give what you don't have. Some people say, I give. They never give anything back, and I'm exhausted. You're exhausted because you give what you don't have. The energy needs to be taken in. Not from other people, because other people also don't have. Everyone is exhausted these days. Everybody's scared. Everybody's moved somewhere, displaced, lost themselves in the universe or on earth, or in their job, or in their relationships. So everybody needs, absolutely needs somebody else to give. So if everybody gives to everybody, we get charged. But what to give is a big question mark. It's not the money necessarily. Money is great because you can buy knowledge, for example. So this is one competency, number 4, that you can always buy. If you don't know some things, pay somebody who knows. Find the specialist. If you don't know how to fix your faucet and it's leaking and leaking and leaking, metaphorically speaking, your energy is leaking, why don't you just invite somebody to take care of it and pay with the money you've gotten where you are talented, and people pay you for your talent and your expertise. So giving is about having an abundance of something that you don't even notice because it's so natural to you. And once you've gotten that abundance, you can share. I can talk. This is my talent. So, and I can write as well, and I can paint. So I can express. I can express, and I'm going to study the digital psychology that numerical psychology that I'm going to study deeper. I'm already studying it, but deeper in the presence of the master, Zhanat Kozhamzharov. This knowledge is something you can buy, and something that you can apply to make you more competent and how resolve the issue that I have, how to receive and how to give from this abundance of spirit, abundance of talent, so other people receive a clear energy, absolutely clear blessing and love and wisdom, instead of feeling that I'm doing it because I want something back. I have everything I could possibly have, and I am absolutely in love with where I am, metaphorically and practically. And at the same time, there are even more interesting and more abundant and more inspiring places which I am absolutely open to receive as a life experience. So it's not about point A being not a good point, and point B is being unattainable point. All the points exist at the same time. And when you communicate with yourself in a way that gives you a clear goal, my goal is to feel the fullness of life through my experiences, and to be fully present, and therefore for being fulfilled, and therefore being overflowing with all that the universe gives me, that creates a flow in which I travel to wherever place I need to go, metaphorically and physically. And as I go there, I am moving my body, because my body does not know what my head thinks. My body needs to feel it. The body does not communicate through the words. The head does. The head creates words. The words translate into physicality, photons and protons, that connect into chemicals. Chemistry affects the body. When the chemistry affects the body reacts in a certain way, because now it understands. And it creates either harmony, or hormonal imbalance, disharmony. And every part of our body sings a song. And that song is the song of electricity. So just like every sound has an electrical impulse that you can measure, go on Google and see how the sound, the sand is being affected by sound. They create those experiments with the sound wave on a flat sand surface, and it creates waves, geometrical figures, very amazing. So the sound affects our body, it affects the water, it affects all the elements in the body. And so when we communicate to ourselves with the should or criticism, or looking back and judging ourselves, the message you give to your body is don't go, because you're not good enough, you're not going to get anywhere. And then no matter what you say throughout the day to your children, to your husbands, to your co-workers, to your employees, to anybody, or employers, is colored with that. So now it's not the blue sky. You see there is a line of the blue sky, but there is not so blue sky. Then the message of the blue sky is hidden underneath the other layers. And people do not read your intentions as intentions of love or wisdom. They read it as if you're judging them as well. Even though you don't have, sometimes you don't have that need to judge them. You just want to share the wisdom, but this is how it feels. And it feels this way for one very apparent reason. The electricity is low, and the sound, the hum of your body is humming in the way that it's unattractive or even scary. So I invite you to communicate today with the sound, not the meaning. We can make meanings, we all are very great. But communication does not come from the meaning. If you find a dog and scream at him, "You are so amazing, I'm just gonna kiss you, and I'm gonna love you, and I'm gonna do it," and the dog will run away, or bark at you, or even worse, bite you. But if you will come to dog and say, "You're such a stupid, such an unbelievably stupid dog, and how could you do those amazing things that destroy my shoes, and you are absolutely terrible," the dog will hear you. And I'm not a good actress yet. I'm trying. I was a good actress when I was training myself as an actress in Kiev about 30 years ago. But I lost the practice. Maybe I'll practice with you. But when you put the intonation, the sound, frequency into bad words, the frequency is read by the dog, because the dog does not understand your words. Contrary to popular belief, the dog understands the intonation and intent. Animals feel intent. Intent is the energy you send forward with your words. So the words sometimes lie, because not everybody is clear in their words. The intonation never lies. So same thing happens with our body, with our elements. When we charge our elements with the sound, highly vibrational sound, or low vibrational sound, with the intention to either settle your energy, ground your energy, Give yourself a rest. Let yourself be. Not let yourself do. Let yourself do is a natural, action-oriented reality, subjective reality. Letting yourself be is objective reality. You are being, you're a human being in an environment, being made of natural elements from earth. God gives you the spark, according to the holy books. God gives you the spark. Your soul wakes up on earth in a strange body, and now the soul needs to train the body. And the soul is this music of the spheres. It's the spark, it's the electricity. So I invite you to play with sound today. You can absolutely find all kinds of sounds on the internet, on the YouTube. Alpha is the sound that creates a calm wave within your mind and body, allows you to be more creative, less agitated. Beta is the wave that helps you be present to the objective reality, and with the ability you gain from the alpha state, alpha music, to create in your mind, you can now do things from the being, not from the pushing, I should. And then delta state is a sleep state, and there is theta, which is a healing state. But there is gamma, which I love the most. I go to gamma when I walk really fast, and I can talk really fast, and I can do things really fast, because gamma is my natural state, which I could not understand why people are so slow. And now I understand, because my brain waves are more in gamma state, and most of the other people brain waves are between beta and alpha, or beta and stress. Because if you go beyond beta in speed without getting to gamma, you create fear and anxiety. But the good news is that fear and anxiety is also excitement. It's also the energy coming. You just don't know how to use that energy to create. You use this energy to circulate in your head. And the more of the gamma energy goes into your head without you being aware of it, the more fearful stories you create. But the gamma energy is for you to create big waves of communication and big waves of creation and manifestation. And when you manifest everything all the time anyway. You manifest consciously and unconsciously. When you see what's around you, that's unconscious most of the times. Consciously means that you bring yourself to the state, not a Halloween spooky state, but the celebration of life, imagination, hope, understanding, enthusiasm, this kind of state. And from this kind of state, you think, what if I could do this? What if this wonderful thing would happen? Because in a low vibrational state, it sounds like, what if this happens, and it's going to be so scary and so hard. But in a higher state, in a gamma state, how can I create possibilities for myself? So it also creates possibilities for others. How I can communicate to myself that I also communicate that higher vibrational understanding of the world to the others? How can I be the channel that I am in a way that creates possibilities for others? How can I be in communication with the flow of energy information without necessarily giving it a meaning? How can I analyze, not criticize? How can I create relationships, not create the person for that relationship? Because even though I'm God creator, it's all here. I'm not creating anybody else but myself and my experience. And how can I look into information and find the priority, the goal? And only then I communicate my goal to myself, not to other people. After I'm okay with that, and I'm okay, and I'm okay, and I'm okay, then my communication becomes the attractive field to which collaborators and co-creators are coming to co-create together. And only then the energy rises even higher. And together, because it's an abundance of energy, together we create amazing things and projects in life, or amazing relationships, or amazing travels and experiences. And only then we can see our material result in the way that it's been intended. And we start living the life we're meant to live. because we do have a manual. Digital psychology actually helps you to see the life that you meant to live through the metrics of your birthday. There are other stories like human design, for example, gene keys, matrix energetics, all kinds of different holographic memory resolution, bioresonance technology. There are many different ways to fix things, but there are numbers in your birth date which do not lie. And when you say it's not me, it's just because it's not you yet. But the higher you go in your understanding of how things communicate with you and how you communicate with the universe, you see the blue sky gets bigger and bigger. The more of yourself you see in your metrics, in your data, it lights up for you. And then you find the relationship that does not destroy who you are. And you do not, by the way, relationships never destroy anything. Relationship reflect who you are as a mirror. And so you start seeing that mirror and you understand what are the competencies that are not there yet and how can I gain them in connection with that person who is in my relationship. You become grateful for what you've gotten as your digital task on that life journey on Earth for this lifetime. Oh my God, this is big of a lizard. And you grow from this small, tiny little thing. You grow, you grow, you grow, you become a Mother Earth from which other people sprout. And that element helps see what is your potential really. And potential is to bring somebody to success. The potential is to see somebody grow in the field of all possibilities. That is you. And the joy of that journey overcomes you, and you're no longer worried about anything that might stop that, because even if you don't have a bigger house, a bigger car, a bigger, I don't know, lake that could overflow during the hurricane, you still have that possibility to be a field in which other beings, by being with you, become more enlightened beings, because you are light, and in your light everybody feels light, enlightened, and they see the light not only at the end of the tunnel, but they stop seeing the tunnel as is, and they start seeing light and everything and everyone that comes into communication. So I'm gonna be traveling all day today. I just came out because my body, my little dog, is in need of movement and training every day. If you take a little puppy and you only train one day and forget the next day, it will pee all over your house and maybe eat your shoes. Our body is very young. Even if you're 100 years old, you're still very young in comparison to the universe and in comparison to the soul, the spark that you are. So my motivation, not my should, but my want, is to have the dog, the body, that I can walk every day. I don't have animals. I did. I have cats, dogs, African gray parrot. I had everything. You name it, I had it. Ferret, not ferret, what you call it, hamster, bird, like a crow. I had everything in my house. But then I realized that those animals need to be free, and with somebody who has time for it. I have one animal that needs to be trained. And my motivation is to train it so it walks with me way beyond 100. And I've seen people like that, and I've read about people like that, and they move. As long as you move, you live. Everything living is moving and growing and learning how to be, how to thrive, not just survive, in the environments that are ever-changing, because we live in ever-changing environment of the planet. And our energy affects the planet just as much as we are being affected by planet. We are being. How we are affected is up to our being, because being is in your control. The rest of it is not. And therefore, my intention, my motivation, and my driving fuel is to keep training my dog, my body, with love and understanding and positive, loving communication, so it can be experiencing things in a much better way. Because if the dog pees on your furniture, you're not going to be happy with it, right? So my dog, my body, knows that I love it so much that I will take you outside to walk every day. So the energy that is not 100% optimized will be optimized, and it can be happy all day long, and it could produce things that it needs to produce, or it can just be. Because again, at the end, we work, we get the money, then we spend the money on something we love, and now we're in love. So we can avoid all of this long chain of events, not work so hard, work smarter, work with your energy, so you gain that amazing, you gain the amazing feeling before you need to invest any physicality of the money produced into it. And then money will just be the reward for the good work you're doing, because your body is capable of doing the good work. Your mind is clear and your soul is singing. So again, homework, use the words wisely, choose the vibration of how you say it. If you don't have anything wise or loving to say, you don't have to. Communicate with the intention to create a better world within yourself first, because you're full of water, and water reacts to vibrations and words, just like sand. And at the same time, be open to all the possibilities that other people create for you. Even if you judge them as negative, there are just possibilities, and the judgment stops the flow of possibilities. But the truth of the matter is, what you call negative possibilities are the possibilities for growth and development, which means possibilities to live, to be, to experience something different. All right, off I go to my trip, to my magic, to experience something new in a different country, in a different universe, in a different system, with different people, with a different language, with different food. And I'm actually taking doTERRA oil with me, adaptive. I can talk about it later on, but adaptive helps you to adapt. And I'm taking my deck of cards that I've produced with Alexandra Isayevich. I'm posting her posts on my Facebook page, so it has a link to go to the website insightfulcolor.com, where we have images of it and videos of it and video blog that helps you to come more present into objective reality. This animal based deck is about being brave and unstoppable. Look at that, the Halloween is happening. Look at that, look at that. Oh my God. Yeah, so beginning of October, and for some people it's already skeletons on the yard. Great. The level of thinking is very obvious. What do we see? So the animals will help you understand what are the scary stuff in your life that stop you. 64 different animals, 64 different fears. The matrix of 192 animals you don't see in the card, you only see 64 of them, but in the booklet you can understand more about it. The information is free on the Insightful Color. If you want to have a booklet at your home, or a card deck or something, it's also on Amazon and on a website. But most importantly, just go look at it and feel and see the animal and ask what that animal communicates about, that it creates a possibility for me to learn more about myself and see the illusion that I've created. And that was okay at the time, because that illusion of fear stopped me from being scared even more. But now I am ready to become brave and unstoppable. I trained my dog to run, to move, to be able to exist and coexist with other elements. And now it's time for me to connect my brain, my stories, my fears, my egocentristic view of the world with, it's time for me to connect my head and my body, right? My guidance and my dog, my body following my guidance, my own guidance. I'm gonna leave the links. One more link I have for you is the channel in Russian language. It's the channel of my friend, Evgenia. She's very, very knowledgeable and deeply experienced psychologist, numerical psychologist as well, clinical psychologist. And if you want to receive a complimentary session from her, strategic session, go to this link, sign up for the session. She's also doing coaching. She's doing all kinds of challenges where you just walk for free, and she gives you gifts for it. So I would suggest for you to experience that. All right, the connection is not so good, so all the links I'm gonna leave in description so you can experience it for yourself instead of me telling about it. Much love. Have an amazing day.